everyone, I wanted to come on here and give you a little information about myself. I was raised by a single mom of 5. We grew up in government subsidized housing, which is also known as the projects. We went to church every weekend, Roman Catholic church every weekend. My 3 older brothers were altar boys, and I decided that I wanted to be an altar girl, which wasn't a thing then, but it became one because I became the first one. I always felt a sense of having a greater purpose growing up, and I never really knew what it was. I still don't know what it is. I think I'm still just working on that, and the Lord is guiding me. A week after I turned 19, I had my daughter. I feel it was my turning point in life in order to get me on the right path. She is just a blessing, a beautiful blessing from God, and I thank God so much for her. After I had my daughter, I started to experience abuse, and the area that we lived in changed. It was on a downward spiral when I was growing up anyhow, but by the time I had my daughter, it was just bad, just a bad area. So I took her and we moved downstate. We started fresh. I met my husband downstate, and we were blessed with a daughter and a son. The Lord let me know through prayer that they were indeed from Him, gifts from Him. And I thank Him so much for my children. I really do. In 2015, I felt a huge shift in my spirit, and this I shared with my mom because I was witnessing the onslaught of deception. And I'd see things live on television earlier in the day, and then at night when my husband would come home, you'd see that same news flipped on its head, completely upside down, completely to outrage, to anger, to really incite this hysteria. And I was overwhelmed by how bad it was getting. And then I noticed that people, if you disagreed with others, they would become vicious. They would become awful. And especially if you had evidentiary support for your side of the message that you're, what you're talking about, they would just resort to name calling because they didn't really have much to fall back on. But it was just, for me personally, and I'm sorry if I'm mumbling or anything, but I just felt like the light switch was turned off for common sense. Everyone just stopped common sense all of a sudden. It's not a popular topic anymore. And I just simply, please just think for yourselves. You just talk to people and ask them to think for themselves. Then in Arkansas, they flaunted the Baphomet statue. And I felt like that was big confirmation as to the shift in my spirit, because I felt like things were turning evil. Things were turning really bad. In 2018, my father passed away. He passed away suddenly. He was only 57. He was in and out of my life growing up, or our lives growing up. I had learned after he passed that his mom had passed away in his arms a few years before we were born, and he was 19 when that happened. And I know that shaped his life, trying to get through that. And he cared deeply for his sisters and his sisters. He's got sisters and a brother, and I think he just wanted to be stronger for them, and he pushed through a lot, but he suppressed a lot, and he used substances to try to help him get through, and he turned to God, but I think the substances he seemed to keep a hold on. So as I got older, I knew I had to distance myself because he would kind of disappear, and it hurt, and I didn't want my kids to go through the same thing. And so anyhow, after my father passed, I began to receive signs on the way driving upstate to my brother's house for his service. my daughter and I, my oldest, witnessed a dove in the sky. Huge dove with the wings stretched across the sky. And I'm sorry about the reflection, guys. Hopefully you can see that. So she snapped a picture of it. I didn't get to put much thought into it that day, but it was significant afterwards. I had gone home and I was sitting on my couch just crying, and I had stood up and walked over to my counter where my father's prayer card was with the Our Father. I was just reading the Our Father, and on the back, it's a dove in the clouds. And I can't tell you what it felt like to get the confirmation, as you know, of the sign. It was just absolutely amazing to me. And then also, I had cardinals coming to my bedroom window and all my other windows. This is my bedroom window, and I have a tree here. I'd get a red cardinal, and then I'd get a lighter cardinal that would just fly into my window over and over again, tapping my window, tapping my window, tapping my window. I think anyone that knows when you get a message from the Lord, He makes sure you get that message. So I definitely knew that I was receiving signs from the Lord, and God is just amazing. So I've shared all of these experiences with my mother. My mother has always been devoted to the Lord. So during the same time, she made a plan to read the Bible. She read the entire Bible, and we decided to be baptized, born again in the Spirit, which we ended up doing in a swimming pool together, on our own, because I mean, we're new to this, and we're new to the being reborn and things like that from the Catholic religion. We turned over to being reborn, just as it's written in the Bible. So, and plus we felt it. We felt that's what we wanted to do. That's what we needed to do. My mother now receives word from the Father in Yeshua daily, and I had received word on March 25th, which I shared. Our family members and many friends have turned their backs on us. Jesus freaks, you name it, we've heard it. People are concerned all of a sudden. It's a whirlwind adventure, and I prayed to the Lord about it, and that's when I was led to creating this channel. So my mother and I had listened to the words being prophesied presently for over a year, and many have come to pass. This channel I put my face on so that it creates curiosity for my friends and family. Maybe they'll watch it just to see me or to want to make a joke about it. Who knows? Regardless, it'll be something that they actually listen to or see, make light of. I made this channel prayerfully to awaken those who are lost and backslidden. My friends and family, I can only pray that, through these trials and tribulations that we get put through, they awaken back to the Lord and come back to the Lord and realize the deception that's out there. I don't care about the number of subscribers to my channel. I'm not making money off my channel. I'm not trying to make money off my channel. I am simply working towards the will of the Father, and I just pray that each of you discern through your spirits every word and message that's put out there, whether it's put out there by me or it's put out there by anybody. Discern through your spirit for the truth, and always reference through the Bible. So any word that I put up, I'm going to make sure that each one has scripture references attached to it, because without scripture reference, the word doesn't stand. I do discern everything, and I work through the Spirit as well. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect, and I would I would hope that everyone listens to this message thinks about what they say in comment sections. My intentions are pure. I just want to help awaken those before things get really bad, before things really change. And I'm going to leave it there. So it's a little bit about me and some of my testimony. And oh, another thing, I had one more thing that was really important. I kind of saved the best for last. Is, well, not the best, but it was kind of cool. So I was praying, I was repenting really, really hard. My prayer closet is basically my bathroom, because I have kids and I don't really have a quiet spot right now, but I try. But I was praying, I was repenting hard, and I was crying so hard. I'm like, God, please, like, I really want to know that you forgive me for my sins, and repenting, crying really hard. And as soon as I stopped, my electric went out. All my electric went out, and it wasn't storming, there was windy, there was nothing going on outside. My electricity just went out, and it didn't just flicker, it went out for like 2 minutes. And I just sat there, and I was like, and then I broke down and cried. And I called my mom, of course, crying. And I'm like, I cannot believe that. I'm like, it's such a big deal to me. And then I shared it with my daughter. And my daughter is just amazing. My oldest, she loves the Lord. And my little ones, they love the Lord. Like, I'm truly blessed, and I thank God every day for it. And guys, you want to make sure that you're thankful for everything you have in this life. Everything you have in this life. This life is but a vapor. Eternity is up there. And I love you all. I really do. I love you all. And I pray that you all have a blessed day.